Good morning. Welcome to day number 46 of my Munros challenge. Today I'm walking route number 46. I've parked on the very obscure car park. It's not signed from the road. It's Choinnich Estates car park opposite the level crossing where I'm at there. So the level crossing you'll see from the roadside, but the car park's not signed, so I drove past it. It's quite difficult to see. Now I intend today to bag 2 Munros with potentially a third. The guidebook suggests you do these 2 Munros in one day and then the third on a separate day, because they're quite remote, a long way away. But the guidebook also suggests there's a very good track to get there. So I'm taking a gamble and taking my mountain bike to try and get up the track as far as I can, enabling me to bag all 3. So the first 2 is Sgurr the Mossy Peak, and Sgurr Crane, which is the peak of the place of the rowan berries. Now, should I get them bagged in good time and enough daylight and my legs feel good, then I'll continue and try and cut my way across country to Mile Lundic, which is the hill of the wet place, and then make my way back to the bike. Now this track does link all 3 together, so it is the common denominator, if you like, in both walks. So hopefully it's a good choice. Let's see if we can get them all 3 done. So I think about the high point of the track now. It's marked 298. Well, that top there is marked 298 on the OS map. I have to say, some stunning views. I have to say I've pushed my bike most of the way up that hill through the forest. So it's going to be quite pleasant going back, but it was hard work coming out. So I'm 3.5 miles up the track. There's the track from the car park. There's a cairn on the side here and a small path turning right, which I'm going to take, which you can see goes up the glen. So I've locked the mountain bike up, put it to one side. Away we go. It's a very nice stalker's path heading up the glen, I have to say. And the idea is to get up to the top of the glen and then follow the ridge and the shoulder up to the top. So I followed the stalker's path up to that col, and there's a faint track leading straight up the side of the mountain, which I'm following now, the ridge line. A bit scrambly, got a few crags to scramble over, but it's not so bad. So here's the top, and I'll just show you behind in the clouds. That's the second Munro, Sgurr Choinnich. That was you can see the tracker came up earlier down in the valley. So we're going to head back over here. I'm going to drop down to the col. I bet that's only just made Munro status, looking at that drop, and then up into the clouds. Just following the ridge now, and looks quite a steep descent over there. Drop down to the next col. Top's clearing, might have a clear top. So that's the descent off the top. I found it quite rocky and scrambly. Andy, on the other hand, here, he was flying down like it was easy. But we also look to have a bit of a tricky ascent. It looks a bit craggy and difficult up there. Anyhow, so it's a very nice path. It's meandering through these rock formations, but quite comfortably. Very nice. So this is it, Sgurr Crane. It's 12:10, so it gives me plenty of time to bag the third option of the day, so I think we're going to go for it. So we've dropped off the top in a westerly direction and we're just past the 10:35 mark on the OS map, and we're looking to make our way down the ridge down there to the col, if you see. So I've decided to descend down this grassy bank into these crags and heading towards them lochans down there. Whether it's the right way to go, I'm not sure. I'm beginning to wish I stuck with my original plan. My original plan was to come off the top over there and head all the way round the shoulder and then cut across here. Instead I've gone down, straight down that grass bank, now across past the lochans, and I've just started the ascent now. Now there's a faint path here. It looks quite a climb, so here we go. Just looking back, see the lochans in the col. I've started this steep scramble, and it's definitely a scramble and definitely steep. This is the steepest one of the three by far. So it's levelled off a little bit, thank goodness. So what you can see there is Carmnan Ficlan, which is the other end of the top to the Munro. Now apparently that used to be, I think that used to be classed as the top, but when they've remeasured it, the other side is now several metres higher, which obviously we're going to go to because that's the Munro. So that's the next destination. I'm just trying to get a quick snap of the top before that cloud comes in. Quite a big cairn, you can see it from quite a way away. So it'd be a shame if I don't get a view from over there. It's been reasonably clear all day. Here we are, Leo Mundai. It was a bit of a slog, but well worth doing. Looking back at that other cairn now, it does look higher, doesn't it? It's weird how that happens. It's 10 metres lower. Third Munro of the day. So it's very steep, it's pathless, it's foggy. We're trying to head in like a northwesterly direction, but the way of the hill is trying to force you west, which is where we don't want to be. So it's quite an interesting descent, this one. So there she lies. We've come down there. The cloud's clearing, so we came down, followed the burn. I picked up this path here. Really I should be on the other side of the burn, but if you look in the distance over there, there's a hunting lodge where the stalker's track is, and that's going to take me back to the bike. So probably 2 to 3 miles, I'd say, to the bike. So I'm back at the bike at last. Gosh, that was a drag. And obviously other people have decided to park the bikes here as well, so the people on the hill behind me. A bit gloomy up there. Hi, welcome to day 46 of my Munro challenge. Today I walked route number 46. It's Wednesday the 15th of September. Going out it was tough. I pushed the mountain back quite a lot because it's quite a lot of uphill, and I decided not to overstretch myself at the beginning of the walk, so I just took it easy and pushed when it was too steep, which is quite a lot of the time. But it made for a really good return home, so well worth taking the mountain bike. Saves acres and acres of time on a very good stalker's track. Although I was going along and I missed the right turn initially, so I had to double back. So you do need to keep your eye out for the cairn, which I'll have shown you on the video. Thin path actually, because you can see the stalker's track going up the side of the glen, and you're expecting it to be a wide track where it leaves the track you've just been mountain biking on, and it's not. It's a really tiny track, which is why I missed it initially. so keep your eye out for it, because it does become much wider, as you can see, going up the glen. Very good track, very good stalker's track up the glen. Which it eventually does thin out. It does become a little bit squelchy underfoot, so I would imagine over long periods of rain it got quite boggy. Now, bear in mind, I've just spent 3 days at Torridon with stupid steep climbs, shorter days, but they're all sea level up to the top, exceedingly steep climbs. So I found today a bit more relaxing, let's say. That the gradients weren't as steep, so it was lovely to kind of get to a top without blowing veins in your eyeballs. So it was quite nice, gradient all the way up to the first top. The path got a lot thinner once you turn left, and probably even not even there at times. And indeed there was a faint path dropping off the first Munro down into the col and up to the second one, which did steepen up a little bit more, but it was extremely faint, the track, let's say. So this is where you make the decision. Are you doing 2? Are you doing 3? I'm glad I did 3, and this is where the fun really starts. Now, I initially had decided to follow a less steep gradient along the hilltop, and I will leave that on the flyover that you see at the beginning, my initial plan. But I met Andy, and he'd seen in a different guidebook than I've been reading where there was a route plotted on the one that I've depicted, and it was ridiculously steep. Neither one of us could find a path down, so Andy went down a different way to me, and we actually met at the top of the 3rd Munro, having both gone different ways. I think I should have stuck with my original plan. I went down a very steep grassy bank. It was boggy, it was slippy, no path. Eventually I made my way to the lochans at the bottom because I could see where I was going, and you can see the path going up the other side. But it was just difficult because it was pathless, and obviously we were making it up as I went along. And then the other side was equally steep. It was very steep actually initially, pathless, bits of scree. Yeah, so it was a bit of an effort, and it was a fair way to climb because you dropped a good distance, and then you got onto the flatter plateau, up to the first what used to be the Munro, the top, and along to what is now the Munro, and it's very nice, very steady, very grassy, not a lot of climbing to do at all. Big cairn at the top. But again, the drop down it's tough, it's pathless. I was in cloud, I was trying to follow a compass bearing. The path, the whole shape of the hill wants to send you one way, and you know you want to be going the other way. So it was quite a tough, long descent. Then you can see the stalker's path that you're aiming at eventually once we dropped out of the clouds, which made navigation slightly better, but it's an awful long way back. Even though I'd parked my bike, it's still a long way back. It's good to get to the bike, and it's all downhill pretty much. You got a little rise to go over, but I pedalled my bike all the way back in no time, which shortened the day and made the 3 Munros very doable. The day was 21.5 miles, but did it in 9.5 hours, and there was 5,971 feet of ascent. I'm really pleased I did all 3.